Hey there. So I know this video is supposed to be cycle 2, and technically we went one turn into cycle 2 the last round, but that's okay. The last video, I mean. That's okay. Let's get rocking. So Nigel the developer is going through my first playthrough. And so as I'm progressing in this particular playthrough, I'm seeing the comments from my first playthrough, and he's helping me tremendously. So it feels good to this is what that gaming rules guy Paul Grogan gets, right? He gets this kind of help, and I have to say I really like it, and I appreciate it. It's hard to read something that's as complex as this and get it all right just on your own, and then sometimes you're playing it and you don't realize you're doing something wrong. It's very helpful for him to point things out. So we already talked about one of them, which is you're allowed to have two stands worth of fleets, and it can be the same type of fleet. So, that was one thing. The one thing he helped me understand is in my last playthrough, I thought you had to overproduce twice in the same turn. But here it's actually per cycle. So if you overproduce twice in the same cycle, you get to move a cube over. So it's actually a lot easier to get a cube moved over. But it also means, though, like with the way I understood it, I could move two cubes over because I'm going to overproduce twice, and then I'm going to overproduce twice again. Whereas here, I think it's per cycle, so that means you're only going to get to move one cube over, and you're done. So that means there's a lot of pressure to get up to level 4, or to get this. Now this here is what I'm shooting for. I want in cycle 2 to at least get this accomplished in our home world, so we can start moving cubes over. And if we can overproduce twice, that'll help us as well. So we get to do 6 actions this round, which is even more tremendous. We have heroic progress, which we do want to do. Oh, and then there's a third thing that he pointed out. So when you deploy a ship, because of unless the card tells you otherwise. So where was that? This one. This dreadnought can be deployed anywhere. It does not. Well, here it says homeworld, because that's why it has the little house. So that has to be deployed in the homeworld. But sometimes you can deploy them anywhere. You don't have to have shipyards. Now, the reinforcement command, which we did last time, is you have to deploy to the shipyards. So that's something I guess I also have to keep track of, or be mindful of. Sometimes, like this one, that's deployed to your homeworld, not to a shipyard. So I got to be careful about that when I do these. Okay, so we did one action. What was it? We did the politics. That's right, and we invaded. I want to invade again. I want to take this one down. They have a sector defense, which will get absorbed by this, and then these 3 units are going to annihilate this 1 unit. So I want to attack one more time, and I want to take these 2 reclaim tokens. But let's draw the card before we get hasty here. So it's a level 2. What do we got? Choose to, I believe that's reduce a fleet twice from your home sector. Let's look up what that is. What would these be? These would be crisis. There's a spot where it's just nothing but cubes, and that's where I'm trying to find here. Where are the cubes? Seems to me it would be like a really basic one. Go up, go back down, go up, come back down. Why don't I see it? See, like, this is fleet cubes. See, with the yellow background, that's deployed fleet power. Here we go. Recall fleet power. It has a yellow background, though. That's what's confusing me. Well, and then these are cubes, that's Voidborn fleet power. See, they only are ever used to represent fleet power. So, this is saying choose to remove fleet power twice from your home sector. Or just lose 3 food. Oh, we're going to lose 3 food. I don't care about that. We got food. We got food. We'll just lose the 3 food. All right, that's way more beneficial to us. Okay, I actually think I want to do uplift. I want to attack again. And in doing so, we're going to go in. I don't even need to spend the materials to protect us because we're going to just win. It's going to cost 2 energy. I can gain an agenda for 1 coin, or I can remove a corruption and gain coins, do a produce coins action. I don't think I have a coin guild anywhere yet. I think gaining an agenda is probably the way to go. So let's do this. So we're doing the attack. We're going to move up here, and I am just going to... I have to leave 1 fleet behind, or otherwise I lose the sector. And it's still more than enough, because these 2 together, the initiative is going to be higher than this 1. So that one's destroyed. This gets absorbed by the Dreadnought. The Dreadnought makes taking some of these pretty easy. So easy peasy. We got ourselves a 3. Now we're 8, 9, 10. That's 11 points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We're scoring points in a much different way than before. But one of the things I really like about having all these agenda tokens is, look at this. This is letting me score... I'm sorry, glory tokens. My agenda card is going to let me score all these glory tokens every round. So now I'm going to get 11 points. I mean, this is... The synergies of this game are tremendous. And I am changing my mind. As much as I want an agenda card, getting rid of a corruption, although I do have 3 of them coming up. Here's my dilemma. Agenda cards get you points. You need agenda cards. I don't want to take this one because it's got corruption on it. But my issue is I have corruption on this population. I have 3 corruption I need to remove here. And I would like to start removing corruption so I can start putting guilds out and, getting things. But I don't... You know what? I think I want to do this, so I'm going to spend the coin. Let's grab an agenda. So this is a development card one. That lets me do an invade. Oh, I don't want to grab this one. This one I already have, one of these types, so I don't want to grab one of those, although this is a nice one. This is, as long as you have 1 5-point glory card, you get 6 points. I mean, this is a great one. This one uses progress. Lets us move up a track or gain a trade token. And what it's saying is for every uncorrupted, where you have 2 fleets, any uncorrupted sector with 2 fleet power, gain 5. And this is 8 or more production. This is a really good one. Yeah, we're going to take that one. Absolutely taking that one. There's the next one. You know what? I never even realized it, but he's got like the symbols here that I think they help you to understand like where the points are coming from. Because see, like these are track points right here. That's track points, and then that's population points. This is per sector stuff or technology stuff. That's interesting. I didn't even realize that. And then look, right here is it's telling you what cards. So everything in the deck is going to use those cards. Okay. I'm slow in the uptake sometimes. Okay, so the key thing here is we expanded. I definitely need to get some production and other things going, but we got our expansion done and we conquered another sector. This one is very powerful. This one is weak, but we got a sector defense. Oh, and then I get 2 reclaim tokens. So let's the first one is we can gain a farm in the sector we just conquered, or we can just gain one resource. I'm taking the farm for sure. It never hurts to have the farm. That's actually a +4. And then the next one is gain an energy in the same sector. I'm going to do that as well. Even though it's corrupt, it doesn't matter. I will take the guilds and get an energy guild. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're gaining a lot of energy every time we produce. And you do get to produce. I just can't count this towards agendas that are scoring me points until I get rid of the corruption. Okay. So moving along here. Right now I have a 3-province front. One of the reasons I see for conquering this is just to reduce the amount of province. But you know what? If I conquer this one, I still have a 3-province front. If I conquer these two, then I only have a 2-province front. Part of me is like, I just want to plow through this and get to that, and then I rob him of 30 points. Okay, very happy with that so far. I'm going to lose the 3 food so we don't have to deal with that card. Done. Done. Next round. Another 2. And this one says, after you gain a technology with a bonus, choose to also put a corruption on an agenda location. So, the symbol was this, one of these agenda locations. I'm not too concerned about that. Okay, let's try to get this one out. That one is I think the progress card. It is. And then I think we have a heroic progress we can grab. We do, and that actually lets us put out a so one thing that stinks here is this would let us get rid of a corruption, which I wanted to do, but we're going to gain a corruption because of this card. What's the penalty if I don't do this? The penalty is I'm going to put a corruption on this deck of cards, but there's one already there. If there's one already there, I think I just put it on another one. And then I would lose a science. I actually don't know. Maybe I just can't even do the bottom part, since this is not possible, because there's already a corruption there. I hate having to... I want to get rid of all those corruptions. I do still get to get rid of 3 if I just move these tracks up. It's just, that's going to take longer. So this one, yes, it would let me get rid of corruption, but I'm sort of screwed. I also have to get rid of a cube, which I don't have. I may not want to do a heroic progress. Let me think about this. The regular progress is a lot cheaper to do. This is remove a fleet power to remove a corruption. I see. I don't have the cube to do this, which might just mean I don't want to do the progress yet. I do get to move up and gain a trade token. See, I don't get the cube unless I move up twice here. I'm thinking, I'm sorry. I did want to get this out. So then the question, so if I have to pay for this cube, what it means is I'm just removing a fleet from somewhere. I could remove this Corvette here because this Dreadnought might be enough to defend that area. You know what? I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and just move him off. And then what that means is that cube goes back to here, that is per the rules. So if you don't have a cube to move back and forth between here, you can always downgrade a cube from that's deployed, which is what this is basically saying. So we do that, and that lets us do this action at the top. Plus lose a farm. And then I'm going to do both of these, which is we're going to deploy another science guild. And I want to do... See, this one already has 4 population. So we're going to go ahead and do that, because now I'm going to have 3 of them, right? And this is the corruption we're going to get rid of. And I'll show you how that happened in a second. But we're going to go ahead and put that there. And that's going to let us gain 4 more production, and then I get to produce 5, because this lets me do put a deploy and produce. So we just gained some science. We paid this price already. Now that's where I remove the corruption, is right here, and we get to gain a science. But before we do that, I want to play this track, because I've got to move past this line so we can take an upgraded science card. And so that gives us a population, and we remove another corruption. Now, that other corruption is going to be the corruption we take here, because we're going to take a science with a bonus. We're going to choose to gain a corruption, and then that card that I just did is going to remove the corruption. Okay? I hope that connects the dots. There's a lot of dots being connected here. So this one is going to give us 6 influence, and that's what's going to allow us to deploy the corruption. And then of course we're going to get rid of the corruption, because that's the other half of this, and then it's going to let me increase my population by 1. So I'm going to do that here, move that to a 5. So that means material, science, and energy are all going to go up by 1 1 1 1. And I should have everything right. So that's 5, 10. Yep, I'm at 10. That's 4 and 5 is 9. And then should have 9 for those. Yep. Okay, there's a lot going on here, folks. So we took that move. At the end of the turn, I'm going to go ahead and put this in. So don't worry about that. This is not active yet, but I'm just doing it ahead of time. We already did all this. We almost did all this. We're in the middle of doing this part. I took the 6. This is going to let me increase my population 1 more time, and that's why I'm going to get this to 6. That's going to allow us in phase C to start moving cubes over. So just that alone, because we're in cycle 2 and then we have cycle 3, I'm going to be able to fill up one of these just from that alone. Okay, so we move the population up, and we get to deploy a guild, which I'm looking at my situation. I definitely need to get a banking guild going here. So we're going to do that, and of course we're going to do it here. And I need to upgrade all these to 6, and then I need to move that to 6. So that means 1 more, 1 more, 1 more, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now we have production for everything. I don't quite have this to 13 yet, but I will soon. And once I do, then we're going to be overproducing all the time and getting points from that. I do like this house, this Nervo. It's going to be hard for me to play a different house than this one. This house with the arc ships thing is totally, suits me. I mean, it's the perfect one for me to pick. I know Nigel's gone through my first playthrough. I don't know if he'll go through my second, but if you're still there, Nigel, you made this house just for me. That's all I have to say. So if we ever get a chance to play together, this is probably the house I'm going to choose, and then you're going to be able to cream me because you know all my weaknesses. Okay. Have I fully resolved my action? I think I did. And then from now on, from now on, that reinforcement focus gives me a bonus if I do the reinforcement action. I gain another population, as long as it's not a corrupted sector. That's the key thing. It can't be a corrupted sector. And then even deploying these star bases is awesome. I get to increase my population if it's not a corrupted sector. That's the whole reason why I got to get rid of these corruptions out here. But very, very happy. That was a good round. So we're already 3 turns in out of the 6. This one's a 1, which says, when you gain a glory while already having 5 or more glory token value. Otherwise, you're going to lose a... So gaining a glory is going to be hard, because I just conquered twice this round. And I don't even have the ability to invade anymore. I played all my invade cards. So how can I gain a glory any other way? I may not be able to. And then this would mean I'm going to sink a tech card, which means one of these technologies is going to go away. I'm not as concerned about that. How many points does that give him? It gives him 5 points. Well, that's half a Harbinger. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I'm not sure I want it to permanently stay up here. So I'll think about it, but that's a tough level one to have, to, you know, because I got it after I invaded. If I would have gotten it before I invaded, that's an easy one to mitigate. All right, so what do we got here? We got heroic leadership. There's get rid of a corruption, but see, that's get rid of... I don't want to pay that price. Even though I have a single 1-point token, although that's a fantastic one. Oh, and look at that. That lets me get rid of the crisis card. Well, oh, I just dropped my mouse. Sorry. Okay, Heroic Temptation would let me do one action on one of my other places. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to do this one at all. The moving up the tracks is nice, but I don't have to do these. This one, of course, is just nice because I get rid of 10 points. I mean, I could do the top one and the bottom one, pay 4 resources to put something on a safe haven, and then pay 1 resource to get rid of a Harbinger. I don't like either of them. I think I'm going to come back, and we're going to probably do all 3 production actions here. So we're going to do production. You know what? Before we do production, I think we should do development. Let's get some stuff out there. This one requires me to lose a fleet cube. Can I afford to lose a fleet cube? I have one fleet. I have 2 here. So I can afford to lose 1 here. But I can't afford to put a guild here. That's the issue. This lets me put a guild and a improvement. I mean, I could have theoretically put this guild somewhere else if I was planning better. Sure, I'll move this one over here. I know that's a retcon. My apologies. Oh, not that. That would have made this go up by 1. I think I would have gotten more here, but I'm not going to do that. I'm already retconning back. We're going to do a development action first. And the being is I can lose a fleet power here by taking this off. And in doing so, I gain a guild, which I'm going to put here, and I'm going to put a starbase out. So that'll help us defend the area. I don't know why that's getting all graphically combobulated. Okay, so we put a starbase out, and then the starbase technology says we get to gain a population in that sector because it's not corrupted. So that's what all this madness is. We're trying to maximize our turn here, and then we get to put a guild there. And let's see, we got this is going to help us overproduce. I don't think I need to put more here. I guess I'm going to put another energy out. Nope, I need 3 different types. So I will put a banking one, which isn't going to help me too much. But we'll go ahead and do that, and that will give us 5 points for the bank. So I just did this action here. Now I could do this one, which gives us a population, or removes a corruption, or I can do this one, which just lets us put out an installation, and another guild. So I can fill up another one here. I know I got a spot here for another one. That's true, but I want 6 population in sectors with 3, because that's going to get me things. I can only do one though. I can either put out one of these, or I can increase the population, or I can do that. I guess I could play a trade token to do all 3, but I don't want to. Oh, look at this. I'm going to put 2 more guilds out because of this. So that settles it. I want to do pay a science. Well, the installation would be nice, but where? Down here, but I'm still corrupted down here. I'm going to increase the population. We're going to reduce the science. We'll increase the population, and we're going to go ahead and do this one to 6. And that means, let's just redo everything. My materials should be 6, 12, or I'm sorry, 6 and 5 is 11. Yep, we're good there. Alright, so this should be 6, 12. And then we got 6, 12 for that. And then the farm should be 6. Yeah, see, I missed. When I increased this, I didn't do it. But looks like I got everything else. The science should be at 11. And it is. Alright, I think we got it all covered there. Alright, so this was not a point scoring round, but this was a internal building up round. And then I gotta decide what to do here. I need to read up, like, how does the card get discarded? Like, how do they select the card is the question. Do I get to select the card? Is it randomly selected? That's the part I don't know. So this is Imperial March. Give me a second. The glossary is excellent. If you're still there, Nigel, I just really praise you for that. This is a, what level card? I think level 1 crisis card. It's got a 19 on it, so it says power leak. It says power leak. It doesn't say Imperial March. Imperial March is 24. I don't know how the numbers got off, but that's okay. Consume a basic technology from the tableau. And thank you for pointing out it's page 35 of the rulebook. Because that was the part I was most nervous about, is where in the rules do I go for this? Okay, so page 35. Consume technologies. Right here, it's got its own section. Select one technology from the tableau showing influence, if possible. Excuse me. So I get to select it, and they're going to do an influence one. Okay, that's fine. So which ones have influence? We got 1, 2, 3. almost doesn't even matter. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of neural matrix. It's not one that I care about. And how do I do this so I remember? I'll just put it over here on the right to show that he's got a consume card. So he's got one of these. And that lets us get rid of that card. Okay, we've done 4 of the 6 rounds. Here's the next one. It is a 1. Alright, after you place an agenda card, choose to also spend 1 resource. That's actually a tough one for us, because I don't have an agenda card to place. But we're going to move forward. We're not going to worry about that one yet. I want to play production. And I'm going to play my trade tokens so we do all 3. Oh, where's the trade board? Here. Okay, I don't know what I just did there. My apologies for the silence. Yeah, we're doing production. We're doing all 3. Which order do we want? Let's do it in this order here. This one first. So I want to produce here. So I'm going to get 10. Not enough to score 3 points, but we're getting there. And then we move up 1 on this track, which lets us produce a guild. Where am I going to produce the guild? I do want to get a 3rd one here, so let's do that. I want it to be different, and I think that's a perfect place for a farm. So we're going to get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the farm. We're producing a crap ton of stuff now. So that's done. I'm thinking about, yeah, let's do this next one. This is going to cost me 2 material. No problem. We're going to move up the track first, which lets us put out a guild. And then I got to decide, okay, which guild am I going to put out? I got a 4th one I can put here, or I could start filling in one of these. I actually don't know what the right option is here. I think I should go with the 4th one because that gets me 6 points. But I mean, look at this. I'm near the max on everything. Like, putting out more guilds is not helping me anymore. So which one do I want? I mean, I need to get 2 more points on this. This is going to give me 1 more point. So let's say if I just did 1 more. See how that jumps to a 12? And then it jumps to a 15. Like, you get massive bonuses by moving up just 1 more. And even this one, you get 2. And yeah, you get 15. So it would so I can put a 4th one here, and all I'm doing is just putting icing on the cake. Otherwise, I'm basically, I got 3 with 3 or more different types. You know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this, and we'll make it 15, which I only need to put 2 points in, and we're good. And then here you can see we're going to produce food and energy. So this is going to get me 15, And then this is going to get me 12 plus 1, which is 13. And then I gain 3 points because I overproduced. And if I overproduce one more time, I actually get to move a cube over. And then we got this one, which lets us move this track. And that lets us get or upgrade a technology. And look, I just upgraded another tech. Or I can get another advanced tech. I don't think any of the advanced techs I want are here. So that's unfortunate. The advanced tech cards I need are here. So I can gain another technology. There's no harm in that. It's just, what do I want? Torpedoes, maybe. Terraforming. If you do development or prosperity focus, you may spend 1 to increase population, which is fantastic. And then look, you get to increase population as a result of taking it. Or we can go for points. This lets us store 2 corruption on the card, and then you can move corruption, which, we can put the corruption on the card. Then for evaluation, you may remove corruption from this card during evaluation. So decontamination chambers is a nice way to get rid of production or corruption. Actually, I think that's the one we want. This is a nice one for the population, but I think this one is just, well, first of all, we get 4 points for it. And then we also get to move a corruption right now. And I can either take the one off of here, which is not a bad idea, but I'm actually going to move one of these corruptions. And we'll move it onto the card, and I can store 1 more there if I do another move or whatever. And then now I can also get a second upgrade. That was a good move. Now, as far as this card goes, I'm going to go ahead and let the Voidborn get 1 more power on the Rift. I'm not concerned about the Rift. We just need to score 30 points. So this is our last turn. After you invade, have an uncorrupted sector with 3 or more fleet power. Otherwise, we put a corruption on this agenda, not our board, but the agenda board, and lose 2 energy. Okay, I may end up doing that. So what do I want to do for my last action? We got the heroic temptation. We got the heroic leadership, which, again, if I look at the leadership, I don't think I want, although remove a corruption, can do an action somewhere else. It's not horrible. Getting rid of 10 points here is, it's almost like you have to. The opportunities to get rid of Harbingers is on these heroic cards. Otherwise, you got to score the 10 points to overcome them. Well, let's look at, like, what would I get otherwise? This is advance on a track, but it's a dreaded, I don't have the cubes to do it. This would let me produce, but see, oh, actually I got 2 cubes here. I guess I do have the cubes, but I don't need sector defenses. Do I need more fleet power? Always. This one lets me get another tech, which I want to do eventually, but not now. This lets me grab an agenda card, which would be nice, because this is a, see how it's got the little wires? That's this one at the bottom, which is the corrupted one. That hurts. I would like that one, because I know I'm going to be playing this next cycle. And then right here, look, you score points based on your, it's not a lot of points. This one, you're gaining a corruption to peak and move a track. The peak I don't care about as much, although you can do some cool stuff with it. This one lets you move the cube and deploy a cube, but you're gaining a corruption. But again, we would do the heroic temptation instead. That one you have to remove an agenda card. This lets you produce twice, which would let us get the overproduce. Ah, that's what we want to do. We want to overproduce, so we can. That would be prosperity. Look at that. Right there's a production. If I overproduce one more time, I get to move a cube in. This one lets you gain an agenda and put out a starbase. Or we could just go up a track. um, I think we want to do prosperity. We're going to spend one here. We're going to do this one and the middle one. I would love to do the bottom one, but I just have to pick two, and I want to move up the tracks, and I also want to overproduce so we can get a cube out. So I'm going to do that right now. The cube's going out here. We overproduced once, and now we're going to overproduce here. I don't have any coins, but I could overproduce. Just pick your poison, right? We got 15, 13, and 10. This is not going to do the trick. That's going to get me to exactly 15. So I'm just going to overproduce on the materials. And then I gain 2 resources somewhere of any kind. And that includes coins. So I'm going to at least produce one more. So that way this becomes an overproduce if I ever get it. And then, yeah, I'm going to take a coin. Just because. So that's that one. And I do want to... If I didn't spend the cost for this, assume that I did before we would have done this action first. Because if I'm going to produce materials, I might as well spend the materials first, right? It just makes total sense. Then we get to move up one on this track, which gives us a trade token. And I will gladly take a trade token so we can get 2 more resources, or I'm going to grab another one of those doohickeys. So we're going to grab one of those doohickeys. And what do we get for it? We get either 1 science or 1 point. Or no, this is both. Was any of these other ones both? No, they weren't. You got to pay attention. Alright, I get a science and a point. So that's fine. I'll take the science and the point. It didn't feel very exciting, but being able to go to the safe haven was the right call. And to be able to bump a track 1 more point, also the right call. So now we have to deal with this card. I'm okay with the corruption coming out. So now the corruption's going to go onto this agenda here. I think these are the 2 agendas we have on the board, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So if we want to grab another agenda card, we're going to have to deal with the corruption out here. But that's fine. We'll deal with that later. And then we lose 2 energy. Also done and fine. And gone. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are done. I'm going to go ahead and just disassemble this to get us ready for the next round. Now we're going to come over to our board. We get to the very bottom. We're fine here. We have to resolve a war, and we're in cycle 2, so they get a +1. Now the war, we have 0 cards out here. So they're going to attack us with a fleet power of 1. And they're going to do it wherever they can do the most damage. Here we have a sector defense that kills them. Sector defense kills them. We absorb the hit, and then the dreadnought will simultaneously battle them. Or I'm sorry, no. We have a starbase. That kills them. So no matter which of these 3 they attack, that 1 unit is killed. If I had a corruption on my board anywhere, which I don't, and then here in phase C, I get to remove this corruption. So that's done. And like I was saying, no matter what, they can't harm us with the 1 Voidborn fleet. If they had 2 or more, then that's a different story. Okay, so we win that battle. There's no economic outcome, so phase C is resolved, C1. Now we got to do our upkeep and pay. So with our upkeep, we have a trade token here. So we're going to spend, we have 2, 4, and then this is 5, and this is 6. So that's pretty easy. I just spend 6 food, like so. Alright, and then we come back over to here. Now we get to resolve this. Now this is the part where I was telling you that it's pretty nice. So for every, or we have 0 of these, so we get to remove a corruption. And we get to remove it from anywhere. I think I want to remove the agenda ones, but I do want to remove this one as well. Although I have so many provinces now, like removing this one doesn't help me that much, but I'm going to go ahead and remove this one first. I may have made the wrong choice there, but that's okay. We can always, I guess, retcon it. That's a really nice one, but we get to do both. So for every reclaim token, we gain a bounty token. Now that's the interesting one. I have 3 reclaims, so let's gain 3 bounty tokens. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to drop them down here. So for the first one, we can gain a point, another point, and a third point. So I'm just going to take the 3 points now. That puts us up to 70. Oh, hold on. Does one of these give us a science? That one does. I'm going to take a point away and take the material and the science. Material's maxed out, but the science will go to 8. You'll see why that's important in a second. And then we're going to score for our agendas. And this is where you're going to see why that helps. Starting with the left. For every resource that has 8 or more, we're going to score 3 points. So instead of scoring 1 point, this is going to be 3 points. So 3, 6, 9, 12 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7. Alright, and then here, for every uncorrupted sector with 3 or more guilds, score 5 points. 5, 10, 15 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Here, for every 2 or more reclaim tokens, if you have 2 or more, just get 4 points. And then we're going to score for this as well. So this is 8, 9, 10, 11. And 4, that's 15 more points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then here, if we have 8 or more production, we have 11. We get 5 points. And then here, if we have 2 or more fleet power in a sector, that one I may not have. I only have 1 fleet power in every sector. So that one hurts. I didn't get that one. But we do get the 5 points for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're at the 116. And we're going to start the 3rd cycle. And I'm going to remember to properly stop this video. And we'll start the 3rd cycle on the next video. So thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.